Welcome back to the Live with Audacity podcast. I'm your host, Melissa Stewart, and you're listening to episode number 35. Today's episode features one of my favorite online friends, Jen Meyer, leader of the super popular Facebook group, Tales of the Tribe. I invited Jen on because we relate so much to each other in our personal growth journeys, and we wanted to take today to remind you that we are all struggling through this pandemic, but there is strength found in community. Some of the greatest people in my life are the ones I've found online. The thing is, you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So are those people going to be the negative Nancies or Karens, or are they going to be people working towards similar goals with you and can come alongside you and help you when you need a push and look to you when they need a push? Take this next episode and dig into the people you surround yourself with. And if you need a place to feel connection, we're your people. Let's dive in. You're listening to the Live with Audacity podcast. I'm your host, Melissa Stewart. Audacity is defined by Merriam-Webster as intrepid boldness or disregard for normal constraints. And that's exactly what we have here. The Live with Audacity podcast is aimed at giving you the courage to explore your someday dreams, do things your way, and start making things happen in your life right now. I'm a mama to 4 kiddos ranging from college student to kindergartner, wife to a high school football and track coach, and a multi-passionate entrepreneur. Together with my guests, we're going to teach you how to live with audacity and intentionality, discover and utilize your unique skills and talents, and step into who you are meant to be in order to make your someday dreams a reality. Are you ready? Here we go. Hey everyone, thank you so much for tuning back into the Live with Audacity podcast. I am, as always, excited about today's guest. We are actually in week, I think 4 or 5, I don't even know anymore, of quarantine, right? But
Yeah.
I'm having such a good time connecting with all of the beautiful friends that I've made online over the last year or so, doing the podcast and being in groups and things like that. And so my guest today is one of those amazing souls that I love connecting with, Jennifer Meyer. She is one of the leaders of the Tales of the Tribe Facebook group. Jen, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be on your show. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for being here. I am really excited to talk to you today about Tales of the Tribe and all of the incredible, amazing things that you guys have in the works. Tell us a little bit about how Tales of the Tribe came about in the first place.
Sure. So basically, I started following Rachel Hollis. Some of you might be familiar with her. I started following her about a year and a half ago, and then I decided to take a chance and go to Rise Dallas last summer. And I got to meet you there, Melissa, so that was a treat.
Yeah.
And it was
so
just an amazing conference. It was an amazing meetup of many, many women. Weren't there like 7,500 women? Anyway, big group. And Jen Hatmaker was one of the speakers, and she shared an amazing story about elephants and what these elephants do, these female elephants, when there's a mama birthing a baby, they circle around the birthing mama and they kick up dust and they keep predators and others out of the circle so that the interior can be preserved and saved and feel very safe. So I love that story. We also did an event, at the event, an activity called Stand Up for Your Sister. And Melissa, you can probably relate. It was a very touching, very moving sort of activity.
Powerful.
Yeah, where you had to basically own up to 25 different truths about yourself. And a lot of times we try to hide those sort of truths that we own and we don't really let them out. So it was a time that you could be honest. You passed your paper, you folded up, passed your paper, left, right, back, forth. You didn't know whose paper you got, nor did you know who had received your paper. And so
let's take a second real fast though, and let's tell people some of the things that were on the list. That way you guys get the whole concept of how like it made at least for me, it made me really anxious to
Hmm.
check the boxes, right? But knowing that it was going to circulate around the room, and obviously they have no names on them.
Yes,
Maybe that's not obvious. You have no names at all, so no one knows it's you that has checked the box.
exactly.
So it's a really freeing experience to be able to, like you said, own up to all the things that you've been through. So tell us a few of the things that were on there.
Sure. So one of them was, have you ever abused alcohol to cope, through stressful situations? One was, have you ever lost a spouse, like, someone has passed away? Another one was abuse. Had you ever been sexually abused before? Do you use pornography to, I guess, pleasure yourself? That's just a few of the ones that I can think of real quick off the top of my head. But
Yeah.
there are some serious things and some not so wonderful, more real hardcore issues, that were brought up then, for you to write about yourself.
Yeah, I mean, wow, just thinking about that all over again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm,
So my paper that I got from someone, instantly I opened it up and 23 of the things were checked off out of 25. And you can imagine by the little sampling that we gave you of the different items that we had to check off, having checked off 23 just broke my heart instantly for that person. Um,
yeah.
it just filled me with so much, like, oh, empathy. I wanted to go find that person and give her a hug and tell her, sis, you've got this. You are doing just fine. Way to be brave and claim these things that have hurt you, that have been hard for you. And so every time we had to stand up, you would hear, it was completely quiet, couldn't even hear a pin drop. And then all of a sudden, Rachel would read the question, and then we would have to stand up for our sister, basically claiming those, holding that space and claiming those truths for your sister, the one that you had the paper of. And so it was just a
Mhm.
very moving experience, to keep standing up over and over again for our sister. And I definitely shed quite a few tears during that exercise.
Yeah, and it really helped, at least for me, and I'm sure this is true for other people too. It really helped me um, realize that we're never alone, right?
Yes.
We're never the only one in the world going through hard stuff.
Yeah.
We're
100%.
never Yeah, we're never alone in our grief or our struggle or our anxiety, our trauma.
Mhm.
There's always someone else that's also going through the same thing. Oh, man.
Yeah,
And then,
I mean, that's the thing. People sit up for everything. I mean, even if they were kind of an obscure question, you had people stand up.
Mhm.
Oh, one of the big ones was, I hate the way I look. And remember, that really got Rachel going because it made her so sad to think that people would say they hated the way that they looked in the way that they were right then. And she said it was
Yeah.
one of those questions where nearly all the room stood up. And so that was a powerful question as well. We all should love ourselves in the way that we are right now, in what we can do, the abilities that we have, and where we're at. And
Yeah.
that
And
kind of
that's one of
I think
my
illustrate that. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's one of my favorite things to teach people is that you were made perfect
Yes.
exactly the way that God intended for you to be made.
Amen.
And there's absolutely nothing wrong with you at all, ever. Obviously, we can all try to be healthier and things like that, um, but your body is perfect and it's done so many amazing things. And I
Yes.
think that was really powerful to see too. Is just like, man, it really just resonated that we all struggle with stuff, right? Like
Yes.
there's no one person that's got it all together. We all have our crap that we have to work
Hmm.
through, and it's icky and it's yucky and it sucks, but being able to admit that in a room full of strangers, essentially,
Yes.
now lots of us are friends, but at the time they're all strangers, and you're like, oh, these are things I want to keep to myself. But being able to say them out loud without having to acknowledge that it's you yet,
Yes.
that was really powerful for me.
100%. It was like, we all have burdens to bear. And then just knowing that other people have similar burdens makes you feel less alone. And I think just knowing that, after hearing Jen Hatmaker's story with the elephants kicking up dust, that we knew that other people in the room would have our backs, would not judge us. It was a safe space to be honest. It was really a freeing moment to do that activity.
Totally freeing. Oh, so good.
Yes.
And also too, it really what's the word I'm looking for? It really drove home the message that we are warriors. We
Hmm.
have put up with and gone through so many things, and yet every single woman in that room was there to better themselves
Exactly.
and to become everything that God intended for us to be. So
You're
that
going to
was
make
a
me tear
really
up too. We're going to be little
I'm a
messes here.
crier, girl. I cry
Me
about
too.
everything.
I am too. I'm a sympathetic crier too. So I'm going to get myself together. But yes. So thank you, Melissa, for asking that question, because those two things combined were what we had in mind when we created the Tales of the Tribe. We created it back in August of last year after the conference, and we wanted a way to connect daily with groups of women. It doesn't have to be that they, are Rachel Hollis lovers. They could love Jay Shetty. They could love Brandon Burchard. They could love Jen Hatmaker, Glennon Doyle, whomever they relate
Ed
to.
Milet is my man.
Yeah, and he's going to be at the virtual, Rise Live, conference that we're going to be doing here pretty soon. So he's amazing as well. So it's nice that no matter who you feel speaks to your heart and to, what you need to hear, you will be exposed to it within our Tales of the Tribe group. So it's not just a Rise group, although we are definitely Hollis lovers in the group. You can tell by a lot of
Oh,
the
yeah.
things that we offer. But maybe this is a good time for me to maybe explain what we offer in the group. So
Yeah, absolutely. Tell us exactly why women would want to be in that group, other than
exactly.
obviously you are leading it, but but also just about like the people that are in there and yeah, what you guys offer.
So yes, so we've grown and grown and grown. Now we're up to, I think, close to 1,800 members right now, and we have women. It's an all women based group, and we decided upon that stipulation simply because we wanted to kind of emulate that audience that were female at Rise Dallas. We feel like when you can be your true self, and some people might be a little intimidated if there are men in the group, we don't want to trigger anybody. We do try to stay away from any kind of triggering things. It's a heavily moderated group on Facebook just because we want to protect the peace of our members. And it's a place you can come. You could get daily inspiration. We have, focuses for every single day of the week that kind of draw you to think a little bit more, to be inspired by others, and to connect with the community. Because the big thing that we want to do within Tales of the Tribe is connect our members. We want people to, whether they live geographically and start up a little meeting group, where they can be closer together in community, or during this time of social distancing, it's been handy that we have this group so that people don't feel totally alone. They can access us from the safety of their own home and the protection of that home that they have. So we offer also a book club, which we're super excited that this Sunday we get to feature Dave Hollis, who is the current author of Who We're Studying, the Get Out of Your Own Way book, which I know, Melissa, you were part of the launch group just like I
Yes.
was. And so I hope you're tuning in this weekend.
I
But
can't wait.
yeah, we are super excited to be able to chat with him. It's just kind of a dream come true to be able to be in community with him, to bring him into our community, to be able to have our members chat and get some of their questions answered. And we enjoy the book club. We've had two previous book club experiences with different authors and different books, but it's always about personal development and bettering yourself. So we do that. We also offer like a Start Today morning show recap, which if people aren't familiar, the Hollises go live Monday through Friday, and we provide a recap for that. We also try to feature Jen Hatmaker goes live on Mondays, and we try to do a little recap for people that can't tune in live for that. And we just offer a place where we encourage our members to contribute things that are really, something that's thought provoking. Like Melissa, I asked you if you would post some of those awesome questions you come up with in your group, that get people kind of thinking and communicating with one another. So
Yes.
we love audience participation, let's say. We love to feature our own members with their stories and kind of encourage them to share their stories within the tribe.
Yeah, I totally agree. And it's really fun to jump in there and see and connect with people. You know how people always connect on things that they know or that are similar with them. And
Mhm.
so with all of the questions and the prompts that you guys put in there, it's so fun to jump in there and find new people to connect with on the things that you have in common. But what
Yes.
I really love is um understanding that there are so many different people and you can connect with people not just over similarities. That's what we
Mhm.
typically gravitate to, but there's so many different beautiful, wonderful humans in there, and it's so fun to be able to connect with them not just over similarities, but also things that are different. Like,
Exactly.
you know what I'm
I
saying?
love learning about because we welcome our members on Wednesdays and we ask them to share about themselves. And I absolutely, that is my favorite day of the week because I 100% love getting to ask people about themselves and then learn from them. And it's amazing how different we are, but yet how similar. So our members are from all over. We have people in the United States, Canada, other countries far away that tune in and, are in our community. We also have many different ages, which is lovely. I think, we have younger like millennials, and I think our oldest member might even be close to 70 or so. So,
Oh, wow.
um,
That's awesome.
yeah, I love the diversity within our group of, where people, their backgrounds, maybe their nationalities, and then also their ages. I love having a community where people don't have to look the same. Just like the Hollises say, you don't have to look the same, love the same, vote the same, act the same, but we're all happy to be together in our group. It's
Yeah.
it's a group that I love being a part of, not only just leading it, but also being a part of, because it's a positive group that I enjoy going to, especially in times like this where you can get down a negative rabbit hole if you watch too much, TV or too many news. Um,
Oh, yes.
flashes on Facebook or whatever. There's a lot that you can get lost into, and we try to provide a positive space, where people stay positive.
Yeah, absolutely. And not only is it diverse, but we also get to learn so much about ourselves the more that we are around other people that are not exactly like us, right? And so I
Exactly.
think I think that's super awesome too. Is I think being in personal development naturally makes you more open-minded
Hmm.
and more welcoming to other people because because you really start to understand that just like stand up for your sister, we've all been through so much in our life. Everybody has a story,
I was
and
just going to say that exact same thing,
that
Melissa. That's hilarious. I was going to say the exact same thing. I
you
agree.
just realize that, like, man, it's okay if you don't do things exactly like I do, right? You like that wall of
Hmm.
judgment starts to come down because you just realize, like, everyone's been through their own stuff, and like they are the way they are because of the things that they've been through typically. So I love that about your
Exactly.
group.
Yeah, because when you share, when you try to help someone tell their story, and if someone tells their story, it's so freeing for the person telling the story, but it also creates a space. You kind of hold space for someone else that's in that same situation so that they can say, you know what, I'm going to make it through this too. And so we do a thing called Circle Up for Your Sister as well, where, people that have gone through losing babies, having rainbow children after that, people that have gone through divorce, people that have lost a parent or a spouse, we've circled up for those ladies so that people can help from a place of success after a struggle and can throw kind of like a rope down to their sister that's maybe in the hole, that needs to have just a little hand up to get out of their situation. So
Yes,
we encourage the encouragement of others, let's say. And
I
the
love
girls
that.
never fail me. Like I ask to, kind of wrap their arms around and offer a hedge of protection. We have some of the girls in the Tales of the Tribe currently that are in the front lines in New York. They actually went there from the safer places that they were to be on the front lines. And, we've had them shower them with, cards and encouragement and prayers and words of love. And anytime I ask for anything, the tribe provides. It's amazing the hearts in our community. It's so wonderful to see. And we're doing some nonprofit work too, where we're giving away money to girls that need it within our tribe that have had setbacks because of this COVID-19 situation. Maybe they've lost a job. Maybe their spouse has lost their job, and they're struggling. We're actually able to sell items, stand up for your sister type of elephant items that help them to then be able to buy groceries or pay their bills. So it's been a beautiful thing that's kind of evolved in our tribe.
Okay, so then leading out of that and into this, tell me, what does the tribe mean for you, and what has it done for you since you have started this and become a part of it?
Oh my goodness, it gets me emotional. Um, it's it's been such a wonderful place, and I feel very privileged to be allowed to draw in my own personal friends, because sometimes people see me post on my page and they're like, I really need a place like that, Jen. Thank you, for opening up a place that I feel comfortable. And I love getting to see the interactions between people I've known for many years. Like one of my moderators, Gretchen Bennett, she and I have gone back, I think probably almost 20 years now, or maybe even more. And so getting to have her on the moderator team now is amazing, because we have such a history. But then I get to see her interact with some of my other moderators that are newer friends, maybe within last year, like Jennifer Lamas and Carrie Hale. I love the fact that um, I can kind of blend in favorite people in my life, whether they be online only so far, because I've not met them in person, people like you, Melissa, where I've gotten the privilege to meet you in person, and then people I've known in my own life, even from when I grew up. So I love having the space. I feel very blessed to be able to help pour into it and also take so much out of it, because there's just so much love shown with one another every single day. It just makes my heart happy.
Yeah, totally agree. There is truly something for everyone in the group. What are some things that you guys are working on within the group to bring to the table in the next several months?
Yeah. So, like I mentioned, we are doing some campaigns to earn money for some of our gals that need it. We also are going to be giving away some virtual Rise live tickets for people to be able to tune in live to the Rachel Hollis sort of personal development conference that's going to be going on here soon. We also, I even say, I would love to start up a podcast, and I would love to learn from you, Melissa, because you have such an amazing knack at this podcast thing. You're doing such a great job, and I can just see how much it
Thank
brings to you
you.
and how much it brings to your community. And so I thank you for maybe letting me learn a little bit from you.
Oh, yeah,
Um,
girl. We're going to get this podcast up and going, and it's going to be amazing.
I know. I love talking to people. Everybody has a story, like you said before, and that's my true feeling is every single person has a story, and I absolutely just sit in total like listening mode when someone starts telling me a story, because I love hearing any story. It could be the smallest story, the most meaningful story. I just love being read a story or told a story. So anyway, I would love to be able to converse with people in my community and people outside the community to learn more about them and sort of empower others and to help other people grow. So I'm super excited about it, and I'm thankful for the opportunity to learn from you, Melissa. And then I also just this morning woke up and I feel like God put something in my heart just today. Good timing.
Perfect
To
timing,
today,
right?
yes, it's God's timing is always perfect, right? But I feel empowered to maybe start a little bit of a Bible study within our group. Our group is definitely not Christian based, though I'm a Christian. I believe my girls, we never even had that conversation, but I believe they all are Christian. I'm not 100% sure, because that's not the focus of our group, but it's definitely an undertone. I mean, there's definitely times that we say we're praying for someone, we say we're praying or giving love and light. So we don't want to, we definitely don't want to ever disclude anybody that may not have the same religious beliefs that we do. But I would kind of like to offer that as an option within our group, just a little check-in, a little Bible study to do within a group, so that anybody that wants to participate could. So that's something else. And then
Yeah, I love
I also
that.
kind of had an idea this morning about starting a little bit of a nonprofit for our group and providing ways to contribute and give means to other sisters that need the help. So hopefully those things are in the pipeline by the time this airs.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I have zero doubt at all that you will do it all, because you are just that type of person that you get it in your heart and it's going to happen. So I'm excited to see everything that comes about with all of these ideas, and I feel like there's more coming too.
Ooh.
I don't know, maybe it's just a feeling. I don't know.
Oh, yes. Actually, I know what you're speaking of. I think I know what you're speaking of. Anyway, yeah, at some point, I think it would be kind of fun too to maybe offer a little bit of a retreat where, gals could get together and kind of share ideas and learn from one another in a more in-person setting when we're allowed to do more in-person
In-person
things.
stuff again. I know, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, we had kind of talked a little bit about doing something just because, man, it is so incredible to be in the presence of people, of women that
Mhm.
are just want so much to connect with other people on the things that, take up a lot of our lives, which is bettering ourselves and becoming the best person that we can be, and loving each other and things like that. So we had kind of toyed with that idea. So I don't know, maybe
Yeah,
that would be
I hope we
super
can.
awesome.
But yeah, it's kind of like that idea of when, you have power, lending your power, lending an ear, lending a shoulder, lending, you know, just space held open for someone else doesn't take away your power. So I feel like collaborating is a wonderful ability, a wonderful gift, and we should be doing more of that. Like when you're strong during this COVID-19 situation, it's wonderful to reach out to other women that may be having a harder time so that they know that they're not alone, that everybody wants to be seen and heard in the world, right? That's like the basic thing. And not only in Tales of the Tribe do we try to strive for that, where everybody feels seen and heard and responded to, but just in life, I think it's an important thing, especially between women. A lot of times there's that competition kind of thing, and comparison is definitely the thief of joy, as we all know. And
100%.
so I think women need to empower other women more often than has been done in the past. And I see that as a shift. I really see that as a good place that we're going to. And so I would love to help with any of those type of, you know, good things going on in the world.
Yeah, for sure. I think you and your group is the perfect place for things like that to go down, just because, like you said, it is a place where it's not about competition. It's about um, community and,
Mhm.
and interlocking arms and being like, you know what, we are doing this together or we're not doing it. um,
Exactly. And checking in, right, on each other because, sometimes if I notice a gal, used to be very active in the tribe and then I don't hear from her, being in community every day like I am, I can really remember different gals, and then I reach out and then they're like, yeah, I am having a hard time. Thank you so much for reaching out. So it's just that constant community because, you and I both know that we have friends that meant so much to us in our lives. And then time passes and maybe you don't get up with each other very often. And then when you do, it seems like no time has ever passed. But there's some friends that when you get back up with them, time has passed, and it's nice to be in a space with people on a regular basis so that no one gets slipped through the cracks and not recognized, known, seen, and sort of checked in on. So I think during
yes,
these times especially, check in on your sister,
a
keep
hundred
keeping
percent.
her up, you know
Yeah, totally. I completely agree. And it's so easy for us to just, kind of fall into that like, oh, another day of the same old
yeah,
thing, and kind of get in our own heads. But like you said, if you can take some time to go check on someone else, it's gonna make you feel so
exactly.
incredible. Um,
Well, and I'm so thankful, Melissa, and I'm sure you are too, that we were already in this personal development space before coronavirus because I feel like I'm sitting at such a better place. I'm not going to those negative coping mechanisms. I'm keeping up my 5 to Thrive, which for people that maybe don't know about it, it's drinking your water, choosing not to take in, alcohol or food that doesn't serve your body, waking up early, being grateful, and moving your body for 30 minutes a day at least. And even in these times, it's great to move it double. So
for sure.
we also have an accountability group, I should mention, within the Tales of the Tribe that helps us to stay accountable for those 5 to Thrive principles that we're doing in the next 90-day challenge with the Hollises. So, yeah, it's so good to already be in the personal development space, but it's never too late, right? I mean, it's never too late to jump into personal development. And it provides such a stronghold for you to stay strong for not only yourself, but for your family, for you to be able to support your family during these tougher times. So
Yeah,
I'm just thankful for that. Our
totally.
family's
And
been able to thrive instead of, have a hard time during this.
Yeah, 100% agree with that too. And, when you're the person that is super into personal development and learning and growing and stuff, and then, you get thrown into a situation like COVID-19 or coronavirus, however you want to call it. um, and then you can kind of start to see the breakdown of your family, and you're like, oh God, we're never going to make it out of this. But when
Yes.
you get to be the person that's like, okay, guys, let's get it back together. Come on, let's go play outside. Let's go work out. I say workout loosely,
Yeah.
ride
Yeah. Yeah.
bikes
Yeah.
or go for a walk or, whatever that gets you back outside in nature and in fresh air or just
Yes.
moving your
So
body.
important.
Yeah, like you said. And being that sounding board for your family is so valuable, especially in times like this when I've gone live about this so many times in my group and on my personal page that even the people with the best mindsets are having
Hmm.
trouble. And
Oh, for
so,
sure.
yeah, what
Good
if
days, bad days, right? Sometimes there are some harder days.
yeah, for sure. And one of my mentors, Justine Beauregard, she's been on the podcast before. She says when you feel like that, you find someone to help. And the best people
Yes.
you can help are in
Yes.
your house. So help
Yes.
them.
And then you feel better by helping them and it boosts you up.
Exactly.
Yeah. And we're so blessed that we have technology like what's allowing you and I to talk right now. And we can do Zoom calls and do Facebook chats and things like that. It's such a blessing that we at least have that we have the technology we have during these times that we're going through coronavirus. Because I know years ago, how horrible would it have been? I don't think I would be doing so well if I couldn't be in community, whether it be just speaking to someone or face to face through the screen. I'm thankful for at least the fact that we have the technology to lean on, to be able to stay in community with other people
Yes,
right now.
amen. Not only like to stay in community with other people, but to help serve us up. Not having to go inside the grocery store, or
Yes.
you know what I mean. Just like
Amen.
every little
Or your
thing.
business. You can keep your business going, right? From
Yeah,
home.
for the
It's
most part,
amazing.
yeah. Most people can keep their businesses
Yeah.
going, and I love
Not
that
all, but
too. It's
yeah.
so incredible. And here's the thing, like we obviously one of the basis for personal growth and development is gratitude and being able
Mhm.
to find anything to be grateful for in your life that can help you turn your mindset around when you are
Yes, you
having
can't
those
be
days.
angry or sad when you're grateful, right? I mean, that's part of the beauty of being grateful and starting your day with gratitude.
Yeah,
Puts
for
you in a good
sure.
mood.
Yeah, and when you can really, like you just said, I'm so grateful for the technology. When you take some time to not just like, oh, I woke up today, or oh, I'm grateful for my family. When you dig a little bit deeper and you
Mhm.
start to find other little things like, oh, thank God I can actually move my body. Right
Exactly.
now we live on the ranch. Okay, thank God we have enough space outside for my kids to go run around, because otherwise
Yes.
I don't know if things would be so good.
Yeah, because once you're looking for it, you'll find it, right? Because that's the thing. You'll find whatever you're looking for. If you're looking
Oh,
for
yes.
negativity because you're trying to kind of wallow in your own, upsetness, then you're going to find it. But if you look for positivity, you look for things to be grateful for, you will find them. And it's going to help your attitude so much because, like Rachel says, you can only control two things, which is your attitude and your effort. And so I feel like when you're looking for gratitude, um, and you're focusing on that instead of being upset, you're going to stay out of that upset zone and that mad zone, when you're feeling that gratitude.
100%. Yeah. And oh, man, it's so crazy to me that what do I want to say? It's crazy to me that little things like that can be so impactful, right?
Hmm.
To our mindsets.
100%. I think that controlling our mindset is key, especially through all of this, because if you have a fixed mindset, you're not trying to grow, you're not trying to learn or develop through a crisis like this. You're just stuck and you're saying, this is just the lot that I have and I can't do any better. But when you think about being in a growth mindset, you're looking for the change. You're rolling with the punches, you're going with the flow, and you're actually growing during a tough time. Like I literally feel like this coronavirus is growing me in so many ways, like spiritually and just, friendship wise and family wise. It's given me so many blessings. I mean, I know there's so many people that are suffering right now, though, either themselves or their families, so I definitely don't want to take away from that. But if you are able to be in the state of feeling grateful for the good things that come out of this time staying at home and sheltering in place, then you'll find them.
Yes, totally agree. Yeah, yes. I of course don't want to dwell on the negative, but
Mm-mm.
yeah, it has been it's made me, what's the word I'm looking for? Not sad, but it's made me um it's not disappointed either. It's just like bummed to see
Yeah,
people feel like, this is the worst
exactly.
thing ever." And you're like, "But is it really? Like, let's try to
Yeah,
see the bright side. Let's try to see the silver lining, because the more we can see
exactly.
that, the better we're gonna come out of it too." So,
Yeah. And that goes along with you mentioning before, we need to be encouraging others. Like if someone's in a hard space, we need to help to try to share, to throw our light onto them so that maybe they can start seeing the positive in their own life. So it's time to be a beacon, friends. It's time to be a beacon when it's hard times like this. When you have that power and that drive and that energy and you're in a good place, it's the time to try to share it because it'll really
yes.
help someone else.
Yeah, for sure.
And I
And
know you're doing that, Melissa, in your group. I mean, you're coming on and you're being encouraging and you're telling people, it's okay to be upset for a bit, but then scoot out of that mood and get in a better one. I love that you're encouraging people to choose the positive.
thank you. Yeah, you got to find tools that can help you change your vibe. And one of my favorite things is to put on a song that makes me want to shake my booty to.
Yes,
Um,
girl, yes.
and it just, it totally instantly can change. Just honestly, getting in the car and putting on my favorite music and going for a drive and kind of letting my mind clear itself, essentially, just by,
Exactly.
because you're so focused on driving, right? That veil gets lifted and your mind's just like blah, 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 and kind of clearing
Yes, and
itself
I
out.
have usually I drive so much, Melissa, just because my kids, their school's far away and I have to go over this huge bridge back and forth because they have different start times and end times of the day. So I'm not listening to the radio as much, but that's making me think that I need to find like a really cool Spotify playlist to listen to, or just whatever makes me like when you're in that funk, put on your favorite song that just powers you up and makes you feel powerful and pumped up and do it. Like I don't love vacuuming, and I'm going to be quite honest. I like throw on music and I just start vacuuming and cleaning my house because when I listen to a pump up song, it makes me feel like I can do that thing.
Right?
So it's just amazing how music can really change your mood.
Totally. You know what's so funny is I always do my best cleaning when I'm on the phone with someone. It's
Do
because,
you
like,
really?
there's nothing else to do, so I might as well just clean.
I love it. Well, I love walking with you, Melissa. I know you and I've gotten to share some conversations while we're walking. We walk virtually together, which I love.
Yeah,
And
that's
I
so
love that I
fun.
can do that while we're walking. We're doing something good for our bodies, but we're also doing something good for our souls because I love chatting with you. So,
Isn't that so fun? Also, I really wanted to point out real quick, like, we keep talking a lot about sharing our light and reaching out to people that, maybe you haven't heard from or that you
mhm.
think might be going through a hard time. But what I really want to also make sure that we state this fact is that if you are one of those people that are feeling blue, feeling down, feeling uneasy,
Mhm.
anxious, any of those realms of feelings, reach out to someone. Um,
Yes,
don't wait for someone to notice. Reach out to someone because I promise, whoever you reach out to is going to be so happy to hear from you, um,
100%.
and be so um what's the word I'm looking for, in tune with
Touch.
feeling that
Yeah.
too. And you
Yes.
need they need you as much as you need them, so
Yes.
please do that.
Yeah. I've had a handful of friends reach out to me and they were very honest. They're like, Jen, I'm just not feeling myself right now, and I'm a number 2 on the Enneagram. I'm a helper. So of course I love, someone to reach out to me because it makes me feel very special. And I love that I can try to help them. So it's a gift to me when someone reaches out to me and they trust me and they feel like I can share some of my power with them. And I just get a kick out of it. And I totally love getting to help people. And also just, again, that connection is so important. And we all need to stay connected, whether we're in a good mindset or a negative mindset,
Yes.
connection is key, especially during these times when you can feel so isolated and alone.
Yeah, I know. And that's the thing. That's the thing. And I've said this before and I even said it on this podcast already. Even the people with the best mindsets are having trouble. So don't for
Yes.
one
Checking on your
second.
strong sister, right?
Yeah, don't
Checking on
yeah,
your brain.
absolutely. Don't for one second think that you're the only one or that you're going to be a pain or a nuisance or whatever that is going on in your head. Don't think that, because we're all struggling. And like Jen said, we just need that community. We need that
Yeah.
that togetherness. I
Yeah.
love
Tell
this.
that negative Nancy, that Pam to just,
Yeah, is
this
yours
is not.
Pam?
Well, just because Rachel uses Pam, it just makes me think that, like, it's funny because when I guess in my life, I've been fortunate enough to not have that negative Nancy voice come in. I think I probably call mine negative Nancy just because it's, or Debbie Downer or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
I haven't had that voice creep in too often, but of course, whenever it does, it really petrifies me and kind of makes me feel frozen. But luckily, I usually can tap that voice down pretty quickly. But it's important not to. It matters how you talk to yourself, right? It matters how you treat yourself and how you talk to yourself, and try to always let that positive voice that's within you, always outshine that negative one.
What's so funny is I kind of had a lot of trouble with naming my negative Nancy voice. Her
Mm-hmm.
name is Karen, and she
Oh,
is
perfect.
a judgy church lady with helmet hair.
Is she like the church lady from Saturday Night Live? That makes me
Yeah,
laugh.
exactly, exactly. Oh my gosh, that's so funny because that's exactly the image I have in my head. So hilarious. So if your name's Karen, I promise I'm not being I'm
Exactly.
not
No,
I'm not
no.
singling you out.
Exactly.
Um, she's just really judgy in my head, and
Mm-hmm.
that's the person I'm always trying to prove myself to, right? But
Yep.
what I feel like what helps me a little bit more is naming my fierce ego,
Yes.
right? My fierce
Oh, I love that.
personality. And I think
Do you have a
that's
name, Melissa?
well, she fluctuates, okay? So
Okay.
she's and please excuse me if you have children in the room, cover their ears or pause
Yeah.
or whatever you need
Remember.
to do. This is your moment. But I like to channel the original Britney Spears.
Mm-hmm.
So I call mine Britney Bitch.
Oh, perfect. Of course. I love it. Love it. Just
Yeah,
like
she's
Beyonce with her Sasha Fierce, like
yes,
her fierce
exactly.
attitude. I need to get one of those. I need
You
to
do.
play my name to
I
my
also
fierce attitude.
I also like to channel Christina Aguilera.
Ooh,
Um because seriously, she's just one of the greatest entertainers of all time, and I don't
she's
care what
super
anyone
fierce.
else thinks.
She's always owned like her presence. She's always been very present. Her presence is very
Powerful.
big and very powerful. Yes.
Yes, and I love that about her so much. Um,
Yeah.
that's so funny. And yeah, so we need to get you one. But
Yeah.
anywho,
I'll be looking. I'll be thinking.
yeah, for sure. Keep us posted. So what is one thing since doing Tales of the Tribe? Is there anything where you felt like you stumbled or I'm gonna say air quote failed? Because
Yes.
I don't, obviously we don't typically believe in that failures are really
You learn,
failures, right?
right? You
What
win or you learn.
yeah, where's someone I can't talk. Where oh my gosh, what's happening? Where is somewhere that you have stumbled and what have you learned from it?
Yes. I think because of the fact we're a heavily moderated group, that it is super tough for me to decline what someone wants to post within our tribe. I've gotten better about it and knowing how to deal with it. But it always was like, oh, a cringy moment, like, oh my gosh, yeah, this is a little more self-promoty, because we do offer a space once a month for people to be able to promote what they do, whether it be a paid position, a volunteer gig, what they do for a living, whatever the thing is in their heart, the passion of their heart, or what brings them joy, or what they do for income. So we do allow a space for that now. But if someone tries to be a little too much self-promoting in a post, then I have to tell them, I'm sorry, that's been a tough thing for me. And I don't know if I've always handled it in the very best way. I feel like I've learned how to try to explain why something can't be posted, because we are trying to keep it all positive, no negative. And I think that's been the hardest thing for me. Like the thing I've learned the most about is just dealing with the people that you work with, right? Like the moderators that I have. Sometimes we don't see eye to eye, and sometimes we do. But I've really learned what works with people and what doesn't. Maybe I shouldn't have, communicated in that way. Maybe I should communicate in this way. So I think I've learned a lot about people by leading this tribe, and also the members, just the members and the sort of leadership team.
Yeah, I think that's super valuable. And it's also a great place to point out that no matter what you do, if it's your first time doing something, and Rachel says this all the time, you're never going to be an expert when you first start out,
Exactly.
and don't let
Mm-hmm.
that hold you back, right?
You just got to do it. You got to jump in and do the thing, because there was a very, very good chance that we weren't going to ever develop the Tales of the Tribe group. And I pushed for it. I just said, this is something that we need to do, because we knew the group was going to be archived. That was the original larger group that the Hollis had put together. And
Right.
we wanted to expand it beyond the Hollis horizon and include other people. So I'm just super glad that I didn't back down, and that we went ahead and started this tribe, because it's blessed me in so many ways.
Yeah, I love that so much. And not everything is perfect, and we have to
That's right.
learn and grow, and that's the whole point of life, right? Is learning and growing and doing it together. And I love oh God, I just love your group, love your tribe that
We
you've put
love
together.
you. Thanks for
And
being a part of it.
yeah, for sure. It's really incredible. And guys, of course I will put the link in the show notes.
Mm-hmm.
But let's do a quick rapid fire, and then you can tell us other places where we can find you if we want to connect directly with you,
Sure.
Jen.
Perfect.
So tell me about a book, article, person, or talk that changed your life.
Oh my goodness. I mean, it's going to sound cliche, but Girl Wash Your Face. I mean, it was the book that a friend happened to mention along with another one. And then I started to notice that the Start Today morning show was happening. And I'm like, these people give this away for free on the internet. Like, this community is amazing. And I'm one of those where I'm kind of hesitant to spend very much money on something until I can really dive into it. And I like to almost get something for free before I decide to pay for it. And so
Of
I really
course.
appreciate the fact that they show up there for their community so much. So I would have to say Girl Wash Your Face really did it for me, as far as like realizing I need to get out of the funk that I'm in, and I need to work on myself, because just like the the mask when you're on the airplane, you have to put it over your own face before you can help others and put it on theirs. So I think it made me realize I need to focus on myself and not get lost by trying to be a people pleaser and helping everyone else first.
Oh, that's
So I
so
think
good. Well, and you know
it's
what's
really,
I got chills when you said that, because truly, Girl Wash Your Face is the entire reason that I put this question in rapid fire.
I love
Um,
it.
because I love to hear about what is that moment that was like a huge light bulb for you, where you were like, "Oh my gosh, what am I doing?"
Hmm.
And
Yeah. I
that was the
was
same.
sold after that book.
Yeah, it was the same thing for me too. Like she just I don't know if it was the book or if it was alive or something like that, but one thing that she said was, you have a responsibility to live up to your greatest potential, and
Hmm.
anytime you're not doing that, you're like you're not serving your purpose on this earth, and we all have a
Yeah.
purpose. And
Like
that
she says,
just
to whom much is given, much is expected, right? She says that's one of her mottos. And it really, they do it. They really do live by that. And I think having a positive influence in your life helps you to live a better life. life, right? Just like being in that group of 5 people, don't be the
Yeah.
strongest, the smartest one in it. You need to choose another circle. I do think there's a lot to having that as your motto. I think that, we always need to think about trying to be our best selves.
I love that so much. Ah, Jen, I just love you. Okay, so tell me about your favorite Friday night at home.
Oh my goodness. So funny that you asked, because as I'm doing this podcast, I'm sitting here at the table in my little breakfast nook. And my son and I have been playing Settlers of Catan because we just got the game yesterday and we played it like 4 times already. Our whole family played it last night.
That's
And
awesome.
we have been playing family game nights. Like we used to do Friday would be our family game night, and we try to do pizza or popcorn or something kind of fun. But I am digging on playing games with my family. We've been playing Monopoly and categories and some different things. I'm loving the family game nights. So I would have to say that's my favorite way to spend a Friday night now.
I love that. That's so awesome.
Mhm.
Okay, what was your dream job as a kid?
Oh my goodness, I wanted to be an elementary education teacher because I absolutely adored all of my teachers growing up, even the ones that were a little sassy or a little hard to deal with. I always looked up to them. And so I wanted to be an elementary ed teacher. And I went into school for public relations and mass communications instead, and marketing. So I did actually teach pre-K though when we lived in Germany for a while with 4-year-olds, and then I've also taught 2-year-old pre-K since we've lived here in Florida. So I did get to go back to being with children just a little bit younger than what I was expecting. Let's put it that way.
So, how did that go? How did you like it?
So I absolutely loved it. I don't know what it is, but kids are my jam. I love kids. I haven't met too many kids that I haven't liked or gotten to break through with. They're just I just feel like, children are so innocent. They're so spirited. I love their pureness and I love being around that. I think kids are, for the most part, pretty positive. Like, someone takes their toy, they get over it. They deal with it for a second, they're upset, they get over it. So I think there's a lot to be learned by loving children and being in community with children. So
I love
that was just
that.
that was my thing. I love kids.
I love that. That's so great. Okay, tell us about the next vacation that you're planning. Well,
Oh my goodness.
after coronavirus,
Gosh,
obviously.
I don't think I've even allowed myself to dream about the next place that we've gone. We've gotten to live in amazing places and go on some amazing adventures. But to be honest, we have a cabin in the woods in North Carolina, and it has a creek backed up to it. You can see mountains. It's just so peaceful. So my family and I are really looking forward to the tradition of going during the summer. So we're hoping at some point we can make it to North Carolina to enjoy our log cabin.
Well, that sounds super incredible. And one of these days, I am going to stay in that cabin too.
You are for sure going to do it. And hopefully with me. And then, of course, your family, if you ever want to, too.
Definitely with you.
Yes.
Okay. Tell our listeners, what is your best advice to live with audacity?
I think that we have to be our true selves, right? Because I have tended in my life, I'll be honest, to be a bit of a chameleon. I've wanted to be a people pleaser, and I've wanted to just I think it's a blessing and a curse, right? To be able to be a chameleon, because number one, it's wonderful to be able to relate with people on their terms, but then you sort of lose yourself a little bit when you're always trying to meet people where they're at. And I feel like I've let myself do that quite a bit in my life. And so I feel like I'm trying to live a little bit more fierce, so my word is life, because it's living intentionally fierce every day. That's my word for this year.
Ooh,
Last
I
year my
love
word was
that.
fierce. So this year I'm trying to do life where it's living intentionally fierce every day, which is a lot of what your living with audacity has to do with. And so I feel like being my true self, whether that upsets people sometimes, maybe offends people, maybe delights people, whatever it does, I need to remember to be true to myself, because just trying to adapt to make people like you isn't going to serve you in the end.
I love that. And so perfectly said. And
Oh my
oh, yeah. Well, it's so true, right? Like, that's not something I have typically struggled with, but I know
goodness.
lots of people that have. And yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. And I love that you pointed out it's a blessing and a curse. Girl,
Mm-hmm.
every single thing
Mm-hmm.
about us seems that way,
Exactly.
right? Yeah. And we
Yeah.
just, And we just have to find the places where it's helpful for us and helps us become the best person that we're supposed to be rather than beating ourselves up about it, right?
Yes, I've loved seeing you live with audacity because I see it in your group, I see it on your lives, I hear it within your podcast, and so I love that you're putting this out into the world. I think it's important for people to live the life that they were meant to live, and I think you're doing that. No matter what people say or think, I love that you live boldly, and you are for sure embodying audacity. So good for you.
Thanks, babe. Okay,
You're
where
welcome.
where can people find you to get more information about you and connect with you?
Sure. So on Facebook, I'm at Jennifer M. Meyer. So that's Jennifer with two N's, Meyer. And then, of course, if they want to email me, it's Jennifer M. Meyer at yahoo.com. And then on Instagram, I'm also at Jennifer M. Meyer. So that would be the best places to find me.
Perfect. And the Tales of the Tribe group, obviously you can just search Tales of the Tribe.
Mhm.
But is there a at or,
Good
what is it?
question. Yes. So for Facebook, you can look up Tales of the Tribe and then try to, send us a request, answer the couple questions that we have, and then we'll push you through. We just want to make sure we respect the integrity of our group. And so we want to make sure you read the rules and understand that we're a place of positivity and everything stays within the tribe. So we do ask those questions. But as far as Instagram, we actually are new to Instagram as a Tales of the Tribe group, but it is hashtag lowercase Tales of the Tribe.
Love
And
that.
on Instagram, that's kind of a new thing too. We're just trying to put some inspirational things out there. Our real community will still serve itself on Facebook, but as far as just being reachable in the Instagram space, we are out there now. So thank you for asking.
Yeah, for sure. I love that. And if you guys have any question about it, of course, the link will be in the show notes, but it is facebook.com/groups/Tales of the Tribe, all one word.
Perfect.
So you can
Thank you.
hop in there. It's so amazing and so incredible. And I promise you will walk away with excellent information and support. So
Yeah, we
thank you.
love to grow. We want to grow our tribe. We want to just the more interactions we get within the tribe, the richer the conversations. I love getting the different perspectives added in each week. It's awesome.
Oh, yes, that's a perfect way to put that too. It's not just about the numbers; it's more about the richness of the conversations, and like we've said a million times, it's getting to know each other and really build that community. So I
Exactly.
completely agree. Awesome. Well, this has been so much fun for me because you are, of course, one of my favorite people online. And so I'm so excited we got to hang out and chit chat.
You too. I love you. So I'm so excited to have done this with you. And thank you for featuring our tribe. I really appreciate that.
Hey, y'all, I had to jump in here real quick because I need a favor. If you are loving the Live with Audacity podcast, I need you to do me a big solid favor and share it with your friends, share it on social media, and go to the Apple iTunes link and click subscribe, rate it, review it. I need to know your feedback, and I want to keep putting this out for you, so I really need your help to get the message out. Thank you so much for your loyalty and your super kind and sweet words. They mean so terribly much to me.